Hello everybody, Santa here, and I bring you the gift of Symphogear, episode 10. Well, at least if you're watching it on Patreon, because if you're watching it on YouTube, it's gonna be already a week after Christmas. But if you're watching it on Patreon, it's gonna be on the Christmas Eve. So I hope you're gonna have a great Christmas. And if you're watching it on YouTube, I hope you had great Christmas. Or whatever other celebration, if any, you hold near the end of December. December, yeah, we're in December right now. Okay. I lost my train of thought. Symphogear, episode 10, episode 9. Let's talk about that first, because quite a lot has happened in episode 9, quite a lot that I didn't quite gather. But thankfully, the people in the comments are there to correct me where I was wrong and to tell me what I missed. And I missed one thing, or rather, I did get the connection between the name of the shrine and Shirabe's name. I did get that there is a connection, but I didn't quite get what kind of a connection it is. And it makes sense in retrospect. Someone told me in the comments that Shirabe's name comes from the name of the shrine, and it makes sense. Shirabe was found as an orphan with a name tag on her belongings. That name was probably the name of the shrine, and so they named her after that shrine because they didn't have any other name to go off of. So that's the connection. She's probably the granddaughter of the priest, which I guess it makes the bit of a connection they caught with each other, or I guess at least the connection the priest caught with Shirabe, all the more significant, right? Kin always can recognize kin, all that kind of jazz, and this hat is incredibly hot, so I'm gonna take it off now. It's as hot as it was cheap, so if you're looking for a good winter hat, look no further than a Santa hat. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. There we go. I no longer need to fit the hat in the view. So that was about Shirabe. And the other thing I, again, didn't quite get is why exactly Cagliostro refused to work with the Symphogear users and... no, sorry, not Cagliostro, Prelati. And it makes sense, the Symphogear users killed Cagliostro. So of course she would be apprehensive from asking them for help. Not even apprehensive, she would be outright antagonistic towards them. And it makes perfect sense. Especially since she did it right after she got the news of Cagliostro being dead. And perhaps if she had some time to process, right? If she had some time to come up with a plan, she'd be like, oh, I'm gonna use the Symphogear users to get rid of Adam and whatnot. But she was hot-headed, driven by emotions, and thus essentially committed suicide by Symphogear. I can't really call it anything different. It still doesn't quite explain Cagliostro's actions, though. Cagliostro wasn't acting in effect. She wasn't acting driven by emotions. She wasn't acting driven by, I don't know, the desire of revenge or anything like that. She just kind of went to fight Symphogear users for no reason. That still doesn't sit well with me. I recognize that Adam is evil and Adam wants to use us, and I don't want to do that. I want to stay with my friends, with Prelati and with Saint-Germain, so I'm going to help Adam. Brilliant thinking on her part. Regardless, the effect of those two previous episodes is that both Prelati and Cagliostro are dead. Kinda happened a little bit too fast for my liking, to be perfectly honest with you. I'd rather it was spaced with like an episode or two, but we have some time constraints, so I can understand that. We also learned that ley lines we already knew that the ley lines never stopped being significant ever since season 2, I think. I'm willing to bet, I don't quite remember, but I'm willing to bet even in season 1 there were some mentions of ley lines. But apparently every season we need to learn anew that, hey, ley lines are significant and the villain wants to use them. So this was the episode where we learned just that. And now, Saint-Germain is all alone in the world. And there is nobody to be sacrificed for Adam's plans. You can't sacrifice Prelati because she's dead. You can't sacrifice Cagliostro because she's dead. Who's left? Saint-Germain. Is she needed for anything else besides sacrifice, or will Adam just slit her throat on some sort of a, I don't know, altar to the dark gods or whatever the fuck his plans are? Maybe it's gonna get her thinking that, hey, maybe I should have, like, derived from Adam a couple 100 years ago instead of following him. I still believe that the only reason Saint-Germain follows Adam is sunken cost. She's given so much to the plan. She killed so many people, did so many things that if that doesn't work, if she abandons this track, then what were all her actions and sacrifices for, right? And the only reason Cagliostro and Prelati were following Adam was because they weren't following Adam, they were following Saint-Germain. So that's gonna be interesting. Although I still do believe that a bit more of an interesting option would be that they just rebel against Adam. I think it would have been a little bit more interesting. Then again, I haven't seen this episode too, but this season to its conclusion, so I don't know fully where they're going with it. Maybe they're going in some interesting places. We'll see. It all remains to be seen. And we can start seeing that in this episode, in episode 10. And to do that, you're of course gonna need your subs. And I'm, of course, gonna need my sound. And also, your support. Support my channel, if you will, monetarily, Patreon, Throne, links in the description below, or completely free, it costs absolutely nothing. Share my content, spread the word. And with all of that out of the way, we can start watching episode 10 of Symphogear AXZ in 3, 2, 1, go. Got you thinking, huh? Lilies? Hello, Adam. Not what I expected, to be perfectly honest with you. Ah. Interesting. So it wasn't the amount of, like, souls that were needed to perform some ritual or whatever. It was the amount of people she killed or had a hand in killing. Oh, that's cool. That's honestly much better than my initial impression that it's a set amount of people that they need to kill. Set amount of souls they need to gather. Certainly unique. Because there are many plots where the villain has to collect X amount of souls or X amount of lives to do something. Look no further than Overlord Season 1 and the bald guy. What's his face? Zuranon? Someone Zuranon? No, he was former member of the Zuranon, I think. Yeah, he wanted to collect an amount of human lives, human souls, to create some sort of an orb to attain immortality. And I think in the original novels, his goal was also to resurrect his mother. Yeah, it's like a fairly common, fairly usual plot. But the villain just counting the people they killed just to keep count of it, that's unique. That's a very unique approach to the villain and to the counting of lives. I love it. Yeah, I'm still not entirely healthy yet, but healthy enough. Antikythera? That was the title? I know the mechanism of Antikythera, but that's not the path of least resistance, Hibiki. I guess in this sense it is. Don't worry about making a choice, just make both. Simple. What? Oh. Biki's birthday? Okay. Yeah, I just happen to remember your birthday. Chris the Eternal Tsundere. Willing to bet shit's going down on Hibiki's birthday. I'm willing to bet. Yep. The Gate of Orion, or whatever they want to call it. A god, actually. At least that's the vibe I'm getting. Dayside. Okay, we're just going straight for it, killing a god. Yep. Okay. Ultimate result of eugenics? Sure. A superhuman being that's able to slay gods? Which means it's significant. Yep. Usually you need like a special weapon, probably forged by another god. They have contact with other gods. That'd be useful. Hibiki's power. At least she was able to defeat like a pseudo god. Gangnir? Yeah, I can't recall any. Unless it's not Gangnir. But would it react to screaming Gangnir though? Or does it not work for Hibiki when she screams Gangnir? She can't summon the spear because it no longer is Gangnir? It somehow got transformed into a different relic? Party at the end of the world. Okay, some unresolved issues. Gotcha. Is something's gonna go fucky wacky with their relationships, like intergroup relations? Is that what we're going for? You should get like a clicker. She's naked underneath? She's naked underneath. Again, nudity somehow is becoming more and more relevant. Okay, more of those marks. 6 of them. 6 Symphogear users. I'm just spitballing. And the 7th one, 7th mark. Are we gonna need a 7th Symphogear user or something? That 6 plus 1 got me thinking. Are we gonna need a plus 1? Is it gonna be Miku? Are they gonna give Miku a relic? And she's gonna be the key to solving it all or something? I don't know. They've been kinda sorta teasing that Miku wants to do something and wants to help, but doesn't have the power to do so. What if she gets that power? Where from, though? Shape. Same shape as on her back. And the central star is located within her pupil. That's cool. And everybody's gonna be oppressed under Adam. You did it! Okay, visible ley lines. And what's gonna step through? Maiden in love, so she's gonna become a god? Is she gonna attain divinity? Or is she like a conduit? That's a pretty sight. Shoot her. They're gonna release a Gundam or something. And that's gonna impede the ley lines. Gotcha. Somehow I think it's not gonna stay for long. Oh, Tiki Antikythera. Tiki. She's powerful by the Antikythera mechanism. Ah, it all falls together. Double henshin. What's this song? First time I hear it, I think. Straight into Ignite. Duet. Okay, that's cool. And Unison. Ignite, Unison. All that's missing is superb form, and they're gonna be cracked up to perfection. Interesting that she has to reload. It's just some water. Ooh, that's a cool attack. Sunken cost. What did I say? Sunken cost. Stab through the heart. Oh no! Just the armpit. Food docking? Sure. Two shouts, one love. If all the Symphogear users don't into a big fucking Gundam at the end of this series, I'm gonna be mad. No one ever should have divinity. What the fuck do you think you're giving to Adam on a silver platter? Oh, no one should ever suffer that shame. Okay. You don't realize you're just swapping the oppressors. Do you really not see that? Or do you keep telling yourself that, oh no, Adam is different? Extended hand, extended hand. Yeah, you're just swapping one god for another. And she gets killed by Adam. Before she's able to hold Hibiki's hand close enough. Not killed, but interrupted. Okay, so the gate doesn't open on Earth. The gate opens in the sky. Yeah, your keystones ain't gonna do anything against that. Unlikely. From the chains of oppression of the other gods. But now I'm gonna be the one oppressing them. Yeah, that too. It wasn't obvious. It really wasn't obvious to you that Adam is a scumbag. Okay, Swan Song. And here comes the blood. Yeah, we learned of that in the previous episode. Okay. I mean, body being damaged due to linker overdose is preferable to death due to Swan Song, so hey, good thinking, Kirika. Like, outro song is rolling in. Bit late, but hey, I welcome you, Saint-Germain. You're late, but welcome. Should have destroyed Tiki once she fell on the ground. Okay. Let's fucking go! Let's punch it in the face. Okay, okay. I love the growth of Saint-Germain. I legit do love the growth of Saint-Germain. It's a pity that it happened so late. Like, don't get me wrong. I still wish we. Yeah, I'm clipping. I still wish we had Cagliostro and Prelati with us. But hey, we got Saint-Germain. Better late than never, right? Okay. Okay. I'm fine with that resolution. I guess the reason why Saint-Germain saw the reality, saw the truth so late is not just because it's like a combination of two things. She wanted to believe Adam due to sunk cost fallacy. It's not that she believed him necessarily, but rather the kind of a thinking, I have to believe him because if I doubt, then what were all the sacrifices for? After credits? No after credits. Well, damn. Well, damn. Okay, I want to watch it again, and I hope you too. Because that's what we're gonna do right now, shall we? 2 lilies. I think those are lilies. Or it could be some other flower. There is some sort of a flower that I often see in anime placed on graves. Are those also lilies? Or is it something else entirely? Because like my only association with lily is Yuri, so that doesn't necessarily fit like a send off for the dead. But maybe they have a double meaning. Maybe they are also used on graves as a symbol of purity. I think that's like the original symbolism behind lilies, purity. It's only later, I think, that it became a symbol of lesbian relationships. I'm not entirely sure on that, so I'm not gonna talk more about it. But let me know if you know the full symbolism of lilies in the context of sending off dead people and putting it on graves and burial and stuff like that. My life like theirs is not mine to keep. I'm gonna be honest with you. In this episode in particular, I don't know why, but I've been focused a lot on her eyebrows. Such powerful eyebrows. I've been missing characters with powerful eyebrows ever since Kill la Kill, honestly. Satsuki had powerful eyebrows, and she's like Satsuki's daughter. You could have fooled me, honestly. Opening. This is interesting because it's like the final showdown between Symphogear users and alchemy users, and the final showdown between them is never going to happen. Interesting, kind of a bait and switch, not really. Not in like a negative way, bait and switch, but like this screen and the opening makes you think that the final boss, the final encounter, the final fight will be Symphogear versus alchemists. But no, turns out Cagliostro's dead, Prelati's dead, and Saint-Germain joined us. And it's those two fuckers in the background who are the main boss of the series. Interesting. I like it. I very much hate it when openings and endings sometimes reveal too many details about the show, right? When they show like a final boss, like a certain dude, they show him looming over people, and our main heroes are in the foreground and that guy's in the background, like ha ha ha, laughing maniacally or something with flames behind him. And then you meet him in episode 2 as a friendly merchant, and all the illusion that the dude is a friendly merchant is immediately disillusioned, wiped out, because you know he's gonna be the fucking final boss. This is different. I like it. I like it. Sets certain expectations, and then sure, the main conflict of the season is between Symphogear and alchemists, but they're not the final boss. Cool. I like when openings do that. And endings, when they don't do the reveals. I remember watching Arifureta OVAs, where there were two OVAs. The ending of the first OVA contained clips from the second OVA. Fucking galaxy brain moment. Enough about that, though. Yeah, you promised you'd take care of both your missions and your homework. Path of the least resistance. I guess in a sense, I can't pick whether to focus on my missions and put my education on the sidelines, or should I focus on my education and put the missions on the sidelines? So I'm just gonna put focus into both. Simple as. I'm currently struggling with that. Should I prioritize going to work? Should I prioritize my mental health? Or should I prioritize my videos? I don't think I have quite the conviction and strength of Hibiki to do all three, so I'm gonna have to cut down on something, and it's not gonna be videos. Stay assured of that. Rest assured of that. And I thought she was doing some calculations to be able to calculate when Hibiki's birthday are. No, she just noted down the date. She's not that stupid. I wasn't trying to remember your birthday, baka. It just happened to. Pouty, blushing Chris is cute. Like, I don't think anybody's gonna disagree with me. This is a perfect look for Chris. Ley lines Orion. The power of deicide. The power of deicide. I'm gonna look something up real quick, because I'm curious. Out of the relics they're using, have any of them been actually used for deicide? Okay. Gungnir. You're probably gonna wanna see that. So there we go. Gungnir, weapon from the Edda. Ring of Nibelung. Odin throws some spear. Wearing gold helmet and impressive chain of mail and carrying Gungnir. Okay, so Odin attacked Fenrir with Gungnir. Fashioned by dwarves. Spear being so well balanced that it could strike any target, no matter the skill or strength of the wielder. We know nothing about whether or not Gungnir took part in deicide. What's next? Shulshaga. Shulshaga is a Mesopotamian god. Shulshaga had some weapons, right? Igalim. No, Shulshaga and Igalim were brothers. And there doesn't seem to be any mention of deicide either. Not for Shulshaga. For Igalim. Maybe Igalima has the no, wait. Who has Igalima? Kirika or Shirabe? I think Kirika has Igalima, the scythe that can kill spirits. Could that be the power of Deicide? Is a god a spirit? Igalim, Igulum. Iconography is not known. There doesn't seem to be any mythology associated with it. Chris has... I forgot what kind of a weapon... What's her weapon called? No, actually, fuck. Ichiaval. Ichiban? No, not Ichiban. Fuck. Ichiaval. Ichibaru. Etymology. God Ulr. Okay, let me check that out. Ulr. Norse mythology. Okay. I'm just gonna Google real quick. Google. Search kill. Death. Die. Medieval. Sure, not what I was looking for. Okay, there's no mentions of that. Ichiaval. There is... What else is there? Ergetlam, but we know Ergetlam is just a silver hand, not a weapon. And Tsubasa has Ame no Habakiri. Ame no Habari? No, that's not the thing. No, that is the thing. Totsuka no Tsugari, sort of hand breaths, I think. In the Legend of Susanoo. Bait for the gods. Kill. Susanoo was banished from heaven by the reason of killing one of Amaterasu's attendants. So not necessarily a deity. Okay, so it was kinda sorta used for deicide. Although, would Amaterasu's attendants be deities? Not sure, probably not. Okay, that'll do it. So it seems none of the relics are actually associated with deicide. So they are correct. They are correct. But deicide is indeed something that happened all across mythology. And wartime Germany obtained a power related to the death of gods. Classic Nazi Germany fascination with the supernatural, right? They had all sorts of like some of their prototype vehicles and weapons, I think, had like runes inscribed on them, shit like that. I read a book sometime in the past when I was a kid about all those sorts of German, whatchamacallit, esoteric practices and things like that. Haunebu, I think, was one example. Supposedly a flying saucer that flied thanks to the power of runes inscribed on them, on some shit like that. It probably didn't. It's just a legend, but yeah, Germans were very much into esoteric stuff. So I guess it would make sense that they figured a way to kill God. All of that was in Kazanari HQ, fetched from Val Verde, and was destroyed, which tells us a lot. Which tells us that it's something that Adam doesn't want existing. And if it's something that Adam doesn't want existing, we should probably be interested in that. And yeah, this was like a godlight kind of a thing. This serpent was like their first big experiment with granting godhood to a living being, or well, not necessarily a living being, but bringing a god-ish entity onto the earth, and Hibiki was able to just punch through it. So I guess Gungnir might have some powers related to Deicide. We don't know that. It never was used to kill a god, unless you count Fenrir as a god. Which I guess you might. No, wait. Fenrir... No, I got it mixed up with Fenris. Fenris was a dwarf who got so greedy that he turned into a dragon, so not a deity. And Fenrir is a wolf who's supposed to break his chains and bring about Ragnarok. If that's not a god, I don't know what is. So perhaps Gungnir can be used for Deicide? I don't know. It's just difficult. Got a great idea. Hibiki's birthday is in 2 days. Well, in 2 days the world's gonna be ending and you're gonna help to prevent that. So, yeah, about that. Or they're going for something different. We're gonna, really quick, prevent the end of the world, kill Adam, kill the god, bring everything back to status quo. We have 1 day for that because the day after that is Hibiki's birthday, and it would be great if the world didn't end so that we can have a party. And the season is gonna end with party at Hibiki's place. That could be what they're going for. Hopefully. It's difficult given the circumstances. Yeah, I guess. And of course Kirika remembers that. Oh, naivete. Someone had issues with some... Hibiki. Hibiki had a similar issue with being called... not naive, but something else. A hypocrite. Hypocrite. Hypocrite was the trigger word for Hibiki, and naive seems to be the trigger word for Kirika. Interesting how that repeats. Saint-Germain. Fucking exhibitionist. Symbols on her back symbolizing the stars of Orion. Makes sense. Doing some weird chant. This is interesting though. 6 beams, 6 stars, and the 7th one in the middle. I don't know what's wrong. Sorry if it blew your eardrums. I have like a limiter on the sound, but sorry for that. I can never like... I'm gonna go to the audio interface. Maybe next time I'm gonna be able to mute it. Where is it? Media source. There it is. Audio input capture. Yeah, if I need to... Okay. I might be able to mute myself next time. But yeah, as I was saying, 6 main stars, 6 beams, plus 1, 7 planets, 7 chords in the 7 notes in the scale, 6 being the other planets, 7th being the Earth, probably, possibly, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 6 Symphogear users. 7 Saint-Germain. She doesn't need a Symphogear, but could she be the 7th Power Ranger, essentially? Just in case, I'm gonna note it down. If I have the space... Oh, I barely have any. I'm gonna have to encroach on the territory of Novice Alchemist, I think. Saint-Germain. Saint-Germain. The 7th Power Ranger. I'm gonna have to rewatch Power Rangers one day. I remember watching it as a kid. Do you want me to react to Power Rangers? The entire thing? Let me know in the comments. Maybe I will one day. But yeah, I initially thought the seventh one might be referring to Miku, since the seventh one is like special, right? Because the six are the first and then the seventh in the middle, emitted at last, the planet they're on, right? Seven is special. And Miku is special because she has the strong desire to help, strong desire to help Hibiki and to have some power to do so, but she doesn't have the power, and she already used to use a Symphogear against her will, but still, so that makes her special. Also the fact that she would be joining us this late, so that was my thinking. But maybe it's Saint-Germain. She's also special. She doesn't use a Symphogear, she uses Alchagear, right? Yeah, could be her. Could it be that she somehow loses her alchemy powers and gets a Symphogear somehow? I don't know, maybe, maybe not. Because her not having a Symphogear would be like... would be too much of a break away from the main team, right? She would be the only one non-Symphogear users. But then again, all of the gears right now are basically like half alchemy, and I'm clipping an awful lot. Okay, that should be better. All the Symphogears right now are already have a lot of alchemy in them, so maybe it's gonna mesh a little bit better together. I don't know. And we're not even halfway through. Jesus Christ. I'll use my own life to supply the energy we need to open the gate. And a bit of a moment with Miku. See those meaningful glances. And, you know, I don't want to let you go, Hibiki. I want to help you. I don't want you to bear this burden. That would make me thinking that if they find like a seventh Symphogear and are like, alright, who wants to don it? Do we have a candidate? Miku's gonna be like, hey, yo, I'm here. That could be the case. I think it might be. It still might be. Either her or Saint-Germain. There's gonna be a seventh. There has to be a seventh. I have no doubt about that. Who's it gonna be? That remains to be seen. And keystones, let's block it. Prelati, Cagliostro, Mother, I will never... Something, something. Something about injustice. Yeah, I use the very life of the planet from the ley lines. And apparently it's Tiki who's attaining divinity, which is interesting. Keystones. Isn't it based on like an actual real thing? Where some Japanese shrines have like a rock wrapped with rope, and so the legend goes that it's a rock that seals some great evil. Because I remember at the beginning of 2020, something thereabouts, one of the rocks in some Japanese shrine like split in half spontaneously, and there was a big uproar of memes about, oh, that must be why the world is going to shit. Interesting. And it's a whole circle of keystones. How did they manage to bring them there? Or is it that they knew beforehand that this central shrine is super fucking important, so let's shield it? Probably. Probably the case. It's gone, it's gone. You ain't gonna be a god. You should have used this chance to, like, jump from the helicopter and slam straight into Tiki. If I see something or someone lifted by a beam of light, emitting light from its eyes and screaming about attaining deity, and then it falls unconscious and ragdolls onto the ground, you better fucking believe I'm gonna smash it to pieces and not risk it doing it again. But apparently they didn't have the kind of a foresight. Henshin, henshin, henshin. There's no other way. I love the detail of Hibiki singing duet with Kirika. It really shows the power of unison, right? that they are able to attain unison no matter what kind of a pair they're forming. Some really cool combat, some trigger stars. Yeah, that's a trigger star. Then we'll free mankind from the curse of Valhalla and end its history of oppression. Those are the sins I must carry. At this point, changing my ways is not an option. Sunken cost. I said it right from the get-go. Sunken cost. Most villains so far seems to have been driven by sunken cost. Nastasia to a degree, Carol to a degree, now her to a degree. Interesting how that works. No, not stabbed, just caught it with her armpit. And foot docking. I mean, what can I say? Foot docking. In the final episode, there's gonna be Hibiki, Tsubasa connects to her right arm, Chris to her left arm, Shirabe left leg, Kirika right leg, and, I don't know, Maria attaches to her back, sprouts wings, and Hibiki just becomes a fucking Megazord. Wouldn't surprise me. With how much they're emphasizing the joining of different Symphogears, and with how they already made like a big, huge fucking arm in season 2. Yeah, in season 2, where they destroy the library of Babylon, right? They really might be going for it. No one should ever suffer that shame. I really thought she's gonna say no one should ever attain divinity. Well, overthrow oppression. Yeah, maybe you would be able to if you didn't pass out. And of course, Hibiki with the outstretched arm. Using a godlike power to break a curse created by God is wrong. Fighting fire with fire only leads to more fire. Most of the time. Sometimes it's like a legit strategy, where you burn like a stretch of land or a stretch of a forest in a controlled way ahead of time so that the fire coming in from somewhere can't spread any further. It's like a legit tactic used for containing large forest fires, for example. But, you know, using a flamethrower to extinguish a forest, probably not the greatest idea. And of course, she already sees the error of her ways. Maybe that represents the true power to change the world. A bit... No, you know what? I wanted to say that it's a bit too fast of a change to her, but... Maybe it is. But I can't see this moment as too fast. To me, this moment is perfect. Like, consciously and like objectively, I guess maybe. I know that it took a very short amount of time for such a big switch to change, but it doesn't bother me. That's weird. I liked it. I want to complain about it, but I can't in clear conscience. But of course, Adam is here. I really thought they're gonna go for something much more dramatic, as Hibiki outstretches her hand and Saint-Germain is about to grab it, and then she gets shot with a beam of light through her chest. And oh no, you're not gonna have a good end. But no, Adam just, as a gentleman, just interrupts them gently, doesn't kill them. And opens the actual gate of Orion up in the sky instead of the one on the Earth. And this one cannot be blocked by the keystones. This motherfucker's very calm for the situation. Oh, you were able to do that? Interesting. That's essentially his demeanor. Kinda, sorta. I'll stop you now. And she just gets smacked with a hat. Not even any beam of light, not even any power punch or anything, just a hat. Interesting. Adam is powerful as is. What's gonna happen when he attains divinity? Could you use it this way? I guess you could, but I don't ever intend to do that. I just want to be a god. Simple as. I have to ask the question again, how did Saint-Germain not see that? Was she simply blinded by the goal and by the cost she's already sunk? And she didn't want to admit that, hey, serving Adam might be bad? I think that might be the case. That subconsciously she knew that Adam's kind of fucked up and he's probably gonna betray her, but she didn't want to believe that. Kiki is very powerful. Swan Song. Igalima. Sure, you bet I'm naive, but without someone naive enough to have no worries of their own, who'll shoulder the other's burdens when they're suffering. That used to be Hibiki, so far. The one who burdens, who shoulders the burdens of others, like literally takes all the damage of Swan Songs on her. That used to be Hibiki. Interesting that Kirika wants to be that person, or believes she is that person. Very dramatic moment, of course. Laying there bleeding, talking about birthdays. She doesn't have her own birthday, so celebrating others is all the more important. Makes sense. Thankfully, she had the foresight to dope herself up on Linker. That's good. I was afraid, like legit, I was afraid for a hot minute that they're just gonna kill fucking Kirika. I was really fucking afraid of that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Thankfully, no. Thankfully, she's still alive. Thank you. Thank you, Symphogear creators, for not killing her off. And Saint-Germain takes a stand. If you want the divine power for yourself, then you are the oppressor I must face. She is right, she's correct, and for the first time, she's like standing true to her beliefs. I get the feeling that all this time it was kind of sort of an act, right? I know that maybe the divinity is gonna go to Adam, but he says that we're going to overthrow the oppressor, so I must join him. But what if he becomes the oppressor? No, I can't listen to the voices. La 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 la, I can't hear you. I can't hear your voices in my head. I can't hear your voice of reason. I killed so many people, it couldn't have been for naught. I need to follow Adam all along. And this time, the voice of reason actually gets a say, because Adam just fucking spells it out for her. I don't want to overthrow the oppressor, I want to become the oppressor. So now she has no way of justifying it for herself. And she has to take a stand. I like it. I really do like the growth that Saint-Germain went through. Again, a huge pity, that Prelati and Cagliostro aren't with us. But I'm glad that at least Saint-Germain is here. The divine power will soon be complete. Yeah, now we face the same direction, squaring off against the same opponent. Same thing I always say when confronted by the impossible. What are we gonna do today, brains? Same thing as we always do, try to conquer the world. Or whatever was the saying in Pinky in the Brain. Demo. Even so. Yeah, the power of their eyebrows is very different. Hibiki just has thin little lines, and Saint-Germain is just full on fucking white Satsuki. Just white-haired Satsuki, and I love it. I love the design of Saint-Germain. I have a huge weakness for thick eyebrows. I don't know why. I mean, I know why, because of Satsuki. Oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. What an episode. What an episode indeed. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. That was episode 10. And boy, oh boy. It was something, wasn't it? Yeah. Did a lot happen in this episode? Not really. The only thing of significance, of true significance, that happened is they started the plan of attaining divinity, and Saint-Germain fucking finally rebelled against Adam. But I can't complain about all the other things, about all the fluff, because it perfectly set up the final scene, the final part of the episode, the thing with the birthday, with Miku, like, sending off Hibiki not willingly, very, wanted to keep her, but she knows that Hibiki has a duty. All those things weren't just fluff, the way that the visit at the shrine seemed to me in the previous episode. It actually had provided us some build-up, and build-up to an amazing moment of Saint-Germain joining us, joining the good guys, and standing hand in hand with Hibiki against Adam. Great, I love it. I was fairly ambivalent about the previous episode. I'm not ambivalent about this one. I love it. What else can I say? I honestly would have watched the next one and probably finished the series in a single sitting, but today's Christmas Eve, and Christmas Eve is when we traditionally celebrate Christmas in Poland, with a bit of a festive dinner, and it's gonna start in a minute. So I'm gonna have to end it here, and I'm gonna have to wait a week. I'm glad though, because it's all gonna, settle in my head. I'm gonna have time to process it all, and the next episode is gonna hit all the more, all the better, I feel. But yeah, right now, I think that's gonna be it. But maybe you have something more to add about the significance of lilies, about any other bit of this episode. What did you think of this episode? My reaction, my theories, stuff like that. Tell me down in the comments below. No spoilers though, please, I beg of you. If you wanna talk spoilers, Discord is here, also link in the description. Join it. There's a Symphogear channel where you can talk spoilers with fellow Symphogear watchers, and I'm not gonna read any of that, because you're gonna use spoiler tags. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Symphogear, but also Gundam Witch from Mercury, Management of a Novice Alchemist, Tensei Shitaraken Deshita, and Arc Knight's Prelude to Dawn, and also Madoka Magica. I'm gonna be watching Rebellion over the Christmas break, so stay tuned for that. And also click the bell if you want to be notified of my live streams, because I also stream sometimes. Subscribe to the channel. No, I already said that. Support the channel if you want. Patreon Throne monetarily, links in the description below. On Patreon for $10 a month you get early access to Symphogear, to Madoka and other non-seasonals, and for just $1 you get a role on the Patreon, role on the Discord, and the credits in the video. And I also sometimes release seasonal stuff a couple days early, and that also goes to the $1 tier. On Throne you can pitch in directly towards my purchase of better gear, better software, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, costs you 0 cents, $0, share my content, spread the word, it's completely free and helps the channel a lot. And with that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers. And outro. And you can be one of those patrons if you want, and give me a Christmas present this way. Belated, but still. Don't feel forced to, though.